Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramon, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramon. I am thrilled to have you join us today. I've got an amazing guest. You're going to love her to death. But this podcast is dedicated to exploring the idea of doing business and living life with a purpose, serving others, and yes, achieving success. Remember the word achieving, because that'll be part of our conversation. We believe that when we approach our work and our lives with a servant's heart, we can truly make a difference. We created this show for you because we want everyone to be motivated, inspired, and educated to make an impact in your world. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a community leader, or simply someone looking to bring more purpose into your daily life, this podcast is here to support you. So let's dive in together. And while we're diving in, think about how you're going to serve today and what impact you're going to do today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Let's do it today. With that being said, my guest has built an incredible community. I was just at an event last weekend, so the timing's perfect. Incredible, wonderful entrepreneurs that are out there serving the community, serving the world. Vanessa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Steve. I'm so excited to be here.
You know, I'm interesting that you were performing on stages around the world, and then you became a fitness and wellness coach. What inspired that shift?
Well, my first love always was dancing. So as a dancer, being physically active was always part of my life. Also, I remember clearly when I was about 8 years old, my dad came home and I know he had come home from the doctor. I didn't quite understand it back then, but I learned later that he learned from the doctor that he had hypertension, right? High blood pressure. And the doctor said to him, well, you either go on medication for the rest of your life or you get fit. And the next day he was in the living room there doing push-ups and sit-ups and doing all the things. And then I became really serious about bodybuilding. And so I also grew up with a dad who was an IFBB judge and a bodybuilder. So, had a lot of time spent in the gym and in the dance studios. And that's what inspired that shift.
Amazing. That's why I love having guests on. I get to learn about them. My family launched a health club we had for 22 years. I worked there 22 years. So no big in bodybuilding. So did not know that about you, but that's why we jump on.
I did not know that about you either. So
yeah, it was 78 to 2000, 22 years.
Wow.
One of the greatest jobs I ever had. So I'm very inspired by fitness and wellness coaching. I appreciate that. Now, this event came Achieve Systems, you and your husband started it. Rob, and a shout out to Rod Raymond. He's done an incredible job with this Achieve Systems. But what inspired him to start it and you to get involved?
The story goes like this, because Rob started Achieve Systems back in 1995, and I only met him in 2008. Okay, so when Robert had a career in music, but he was also an exercise science major in college. He's always in sports. And so he's also in the fitness and wellness industry, really embedded, but also a very, very smart businessman, also studied business. And what happened with him is he started his own mobile fitness training company here in Denver, Colorado. And he did extremely well. He built a $1 million grossing mobile fitness company within 2 years. And he observed how many trainers and gym owners were struggling and closing their doors after a couple of years. And so he really wanted to spread the wealth and really spread his expertise. So it started with just the fitness industry.
Mm.
And then in 2008, as you mentioned, I was traveling, performing. I was a musical theater major in college. That was my passion. But I also reached a stage in my life where I wanted to dig roots into the ground. And that's when I started my fitness business. Quickly realizing, I had all the certificates and the certifications and all the things, but no one had ever shown me how to run a business. I wanted to just help people out of pain and help them with weight loss and all the things that we do in the fitness industry. But if you don't understand how to be successful in that industry or in any industry, there's no way you can help as many people as you want to help. So I actually went on Google and I need fitness business help. And up popped Achieve Systems, who at that time had their conferences in Las Vegas where I was living. And so I actually went to a conference just like you did this weekend. I went to one of these events. I sat down with Robert and he inspired me to create my own kettlebell certification program, which Achieve ended up helping me grow, bring to market, and then eventually actually sell the company 15 years later. But the rest is history with him and I, because of course that led to where we are now as a couple, married, running the business together.
And beautiful kids, which you talked about this weekend. And audience, here's a great lesson. She made the decision to go. Decisions can be life-changing. In this case, if you didn't go to that Las Vegas event, you wouldn't be sitting here today, would you? In this position.
No. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Yeah. And I'd be told, Steve, and I think you might have felt that this weekend too, you meet these people, you sit down with Rob or any of the leaders, and it all seems too good to be true. I was like, what's the catch with this company? And honestly, when you talk about servant's heart, that is Robert. Robert, everything that he does is because he wants success for everybody else. And the systems and processes that he has developed through the years are incredible and just there to really, really help entrepreneurs step into that role and understand what's needed to be a success, to be successful and to be profitable, right? That's always where we want to take our entrepreneurs. But yes, for me, it was a huge leap of faith. And I am so, so grateful that I made that decision to go to that event and then the decision to join the community.
Fantastic story. Just incredible. Didn't know the story. Just learned it right now. I knew part of the story, but now I know the whole story. And I like that because successful people always comes to that first decision, which you did. One thing I noticed with Achieve Systems, and system is the key here, audience, of what they do. They have multiple, I call them pillars, of ways an entrepreneur or a business person, whether you're a salesperson or a founder of a company, can grow your business with a servant's heart. Talk about some of those pillars because they're quite interesting to me.
Yes, absolutely. We help our entrepreneurs in 3 different ways. Well, number one, community, because we totally understand, number one, the value of having support, because as entrepreneurs and business owners, we quite often feel so alone in our mission. We feel like we have to do everything by ourselves and figure it all out. Well, when you have community and support, you do not need to reinvent the wheel. You have people that you can go to, ask advice. And also, of course, with the community piece, there's also always the ability to create amazing connections, power partnerships, referral partnerships, etc. So we do a lot of that with our community, as well as actively refer them to each other as we get to know them and we understand who, and I know you do this a lot too. This is part of how you grow your business, is by really understanding the power partnerships. And then we also have tons of resources in place for our community, including an online resource center where they can find anything from recorded mastermind calls all the way through to partnership agreements and liability waivers for their business. Everything is blueprinted. It's called Achieve Systems because everything's systemized. So you can plug into these things, pull them out of the resource center, private label them and use them. They've all been, lawyer created, lawyer approved. And so you don't have to. And we have marketing plans, branding programs, all the things are in there, as well as 5 virtual mastermind calls a week one every day, led by a different leader every day, for our members to come and get support and get the resources and answers that they need. And then the third pillar is revenue stream opportunities and coaching. Rob preaches 7+ revenue streams in your business. We are a great proponent of every business owner being able to create their own revenue streams in their businesses. So we do anything from helping our members author and publish books. We have a templated system for education, as I demonstrated with my kettlebell certification company. I did that through the Achieve templated system. We help them get it accredited and CEC approved. We do all that. We help with licensing and franchising. If you want to start a podcast, we have a division for that. We have a speaker division. We have a kids division. We have a veterans division. And, we help with invention of products. Name it, anything you can think of that you can create in your business that generates income and visibility. These are things that we help you with. And then, of course, Achieve University is a huge resource for our members. They get to take that for free. It's worth $15K, a 2-day intensive with Robert Raymond, the man, in a room, in person, doing business building, business development, whatever you need to grow your business. So, that's just it in a nutshell.
Can you tell us a success story of one of your leaders, where they went from, where they started, where they went from? I know you have a lot.
Which one? I will actually use Natalie as an example. You might have met Natalie Hecker at this conference. She was there with her eFit exercise board. And again, you guys, we work with any entrepreneurs. We used to specialize in the health and wellness industry. We now work with anybody and everybody. We have quite a few coaches who have beautiful success story, business coaches, and life coaches and health coaches, anything and everything. But I'll use Natalie as an example because she went from 0 to 7 figures with us. And we led her there. And actually, she's in multiple 7 figures. She's like almost hitting, that 8-figure mark. Yeah. But we helped her create, develop, manufacture, find all her manufacturing partners, this product, as well as the education. And that's where it actually changed everything for her. We developed this product with her eFit exercise board with the bands. And then Rob and the team advised her to create education around the system. And it's the education that really blew up this system for her. And now she sells millions of those a year. She has master trainers around the country teaching her system, training her system. And she has a thriving company, which she's now adding biohacking to. She's now going to add red light therapy to these boards. So it's just growing and growing. And she's been with us as long as I have. So I've known Natalie for a long time. She's been with Achieve since around 2007 and have stuck with us because, she has seen the results and she's exceptional lady.
Good industry to pick for a story because that's one of the hardest, which is why Rob saw business. I mean, I saw it today. I see it. It's a much different animal than it was in 2000. But yeah, and a lot of industries are growing, restaurants and stuff, but fitness, it's a lot of
I think anything in the health and wellness industry is the hardest industry to be profitable and creates the type of revenue that gives you that financial freedom that everyone desires, right? And so, yes, very good example.
So, and it sounds like the victory factor, your certification program, came from Achieve. I'm interested to hear more about it.
It did too. And I mean, I started developing it before I met Robert, but he encouraged me to rebrand it. So, which was a great move. When I started it, I was living in Vegas. I was still in the performance industry, and I started creating this. It started out as a posture correction program. Then when I met Rob, he's such a visionary. He looked at this and he said, well, what do people get when they improve their posture? I was like, well, they get confidence, they get better self-image. And he's like, well, why don't you turn it into a self-image coaching program And I was like, oh my gosh, that makes total sense because, I've been in the beauty industry as well. I was an esthetician, cosmetologist for a long time as well. So between the beauty industry, the fitness industry, and the performance industry, all my everything that I've learned through the years made so much sense. It all came together beautifully. And now, yes, I have this self-image coaching certification where I help entrepreneurs if they want to add this aspect to their coaching business or start their own coaching business as a self-image and confidence coach. I certify them to become that.
That's fantastic. And I like the fact an esthetician is a great starting point because you're meeting people and networking and you're doing wellness and fitness. So you jump right
Fantastic.
in. You took that
My heart's
experience.
always been in that industry. It's just
Yeah.
something I grew up with. I was like, anything where I love on people, right? I'm an affectionate lover type of human being, and I love to help people out of pain. And so I'm also a massage therapist. So all the things, they just come together. And in the last 3 years, I've become a great marketer and salesperson too. So now I feel like I've, done that piece of work also, which was tough on me because that was never how I saw myself.
You have it all now. And you learn from your experiences, from mentorship from Rob. And that leads to a question I've been meaning to ask you. One of the reasons I wanted you on the show. We talked about your network community, but tie in this component, which I think is the most important, building relationships.
So important. And I think very underrated in many cases. Even me, I never understood the concept until, of course, I really stepped into the role of entrepreneur and understood that I was an entrepreneur. And that when we talk about sales and marketing, which to me was they were dirty words, right? Like for a lot of us, when we start out, I'm like, I literally said, if I wanted to sell or market, I would have gone to school for that, right? And I didn't because I don't want to do it. Here's the point though, sales and marketing is really relationship building. And if you are going to be serving others, how can you serve people if you're the best kept secret? And as long as you are not creating relationships and you're not networking and you're not connecting with people, you can never help as many people as you like to. And it always starts with those real relationships that we are very adamant about creating a culture and achieve of understanding that sales and marketing process is a relationship building process. And if you're going to be of service, you need to be creating relationships and selling.
You're a very smart lady. That culture word I wrote down is huge. That's the whole explosion of this is having that culture. And when you have somebody come in, and I'm sure you have, every community has that bad apple. You've got to remove the bad apple. That's still a servant's heart because you're serving your community, but also serving that person because they're not a fit. Go find another community that fits you, right?
Right. And understand. And we really try and educate our entrepreneurs and understand that you need to understand the other person's needs before you can offer them anything. It's useless to go, oh, I'm a confidence and success coach. Let me coach you. I don't know that that person needs that thing, right? You need to sit down with a person, get to know them, know what their needs are. And if it's not a good fit for you, introduce them to someone who has that service for them. Be of service in that way by pointing them in the right direction. Not every person is the right client or prospect for you. And know that. And know that you are still serving by pointing them in the right direction, giving them what they actually need.
You just pitch slapped. That's what I call it when you do that. Hey, I have a coach here. That's another friend of mine, Clay Hicks, says that. I love that pitch slapping. It hits hard.
I know. And, my pet peeve these days is these long messages I get on Facebook Messenger or LinkedIn Messenger. And it's just like, oh, blah, 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 we can give you this. Let's schedule a call. I'm like, oh, how do you even know I need that thing? Why would I want to talk to you if I know I don't need that thing? Right. But there was other ways that we could connect if they approached it differently.
They lost opportunity, the door of opportunity open, they shut it on their face, not yours. Yeah, I get a lot of leads, and we don't need leads, me and you. We need to help people. That's what we're at. Exactly. But other people do. So
right.
So you're remarkable, Vanessa. I'm so enamored of what you're doing. But the question I have for there's mothers listening that have businesses. You wear a lot of hats, from personal life, your family, to business. How do you juggle all that?
In the old days, I always used to say you need to find the balance. But honestly, the scales of balance are always shifting. There's never that specific balance. Sometimes we have to sacrifice one thing for another. And I think the important thing to remember as a mother, and yes, I do the mommy shame thing to myself too. All us mothers do that. I do work a lot. However, I make a point of when I have time with my children, I make it quality time. And I think that is way more important than the amount of time that you spend with your children. I also grew up with a mother who is an entrepreneur and worked full-time, and a father who worked full-time. And I asked my mom about that one day because I was feeling guilty. My son actually made a comment, a very funny comment, because I said to him, honey, because he's young, he was about 8 when I asked him this question. I said, sweetie, if someone asks you what mommy and daddy does, would you know what to tell them? And he just looked up at me and he said, no, I don't really, but I can tell them you work a lot. And I felt so bad. And I went to my mom, and my mom looked at me and she said, did you ever feel deprived? And I said, no. And she said, because you only saw dad and I at night. We left in the morning and we came back at night. But we made sure to have quality time with you children. We sat down for dinner, we talked, even if it was only an hour a day, we had that quality time. And I have nothing but beautiful memories and fun times, right? And when we're on vacation, we were the focus. So I think that is the secret. You work when you have to work. Children are resilient as long as they get the love and care that they need. If they have a full tummy, and they feel that mom and daddy's hug and love every night, or mom or dad's love every night or morning when they get up, I make a point of always greeting my children with a smile, no matter how I am doing. So they know they're loved and they're not feeling the stresses of my life. But I go off in the day and I deal with my stresses so that when I come home, I can put on an honest smile and enjoy my time that I have with them. So that would be my number one tip or advice on that. And just if I could tell you another little story around
please
that.
do.
Quick. I remember when I was about 6 years old. And again, for parents, this is a personal choice. I think if you decide to be a stay-at-home parent, that's amazing. But if you decide to be a working parent, that's amazing too. They all have their advantage. But my brother and I, my mom and dad sat us down, and my mom said to us, she said, well, when we were young, mommy was thinking about this, and I wanted to know if you had a choice between mommy being home with you every day after school and before school and doing everything with you, or being able to buy you everything you want, which would you choose? Guess what we chose? Mommy can buy us everything we want. It's all good, right?
That's a great story.
So my mom reminded me of that. I did not remember that, but she reminded me of that. And I vaguely remember I was about 5 or 6 years old when that happened. My brother was 3 years older than me. And we were both like, oh no, you go work. We're happy to see you all, And like I said, again, it comes down to quality time and being able to provide your children with what they need, and know that when you're working and you're working hard, they will look back one day and go, wow, I learned from my parents' work ethic, and I learned from them being able to provide for me what I need.
Yeah, I need to correct myself. Fathers, this is a great tip for you. I said mothers because you're a mother, but this goes, and the recap real quick, audience, you understand this. It's not quantity, it's quality.
Right.
That's so important. And that's a tip I'm going to share with mothers and fathers I work with. But the other thing that you said was subtle, is don't judge yourself to other moms and dads. If you see your kids 2 hours a night and Mothers of Far seems 6 hours. It still works either way. Don't compare yourself and doing the shame game because I only saw 2 hours. It's how much? Because maybe 6 of those hours is only an hour of quality time.
Right.
Right.
And I really make a point of when I'm driving my son to soccer or I'm, the little time that I have with him in the car, I spend that time asking inquiring questions, learning about his day, learning about what he wants to do later, so every minute counts.
Yeah, I love that. And my one of my guests, Jen Drummond, who's got a world record climbing a mountain. Actually, I got to introduce you to her. I just said that live. This is networking live. Is she does gratitude red lights. So when she gets to a red, she got 7 kids. When she stops at a red light, she goes, "Okay, what are you all grateful for? Give me before the light turns green." So,
Bravo, Mom. That's beautiful.
Mom, it is beautiful. It's a
I love
great
that.
thing. So we're coming to the end of the time here, but I want to get a little deep personal with you.
Sure.
You ready?
I am. I'm
I know
ready.
you're open book. If you could interview anybody dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Richard Branson. I'm I'm a huge fan and I've always wanted to meet him. I feel like from what I've seen from him on interviews or whatever, he's such a smart man, but yet down to earth. And he has so much knowledge about life and business. And he's done so many different things in this world that are great. And so definitely he's probably number one on my list. And then um I mean, there are more. There's
Yeah,
more. Susie Orman, I'd love to meet her. I think she's amazing. Tony Robbins, I followed him for years. I still haven't been to one of his live events. I'd love to meet him in person. So there's just a few.
it's beautiful. I love the Richard Branson comment because I agree. I think he's doing it the right way as a billionaire, trillionaire, whatever he is. He's got a lot of money. We'll just say that. Well, thank you so much, Vanessa. 2 things: how can people get a hold of you, and how can people find Achieve Systems?
Absolutely. I love new friends on social media. So if you look me up on Facebook, it's just Vanessa Raymond. I'm in Denver, Colorado. My picture's there. You should probably find me pretty easy. My website is Victory in Biz, just like in the little scrolling billboard there. Victory in Biz, and actually it's victoryinbiz.com. You can find me there. And Achieve Systems is achievesystemspro.com. And you can find us there. And Steve, I have a little free gift for your audience if you're open to that.
Let's do it.
I have a special report with 50 ways to be visible in your business. And they can find that at victoryinbiz.com/50 ways to be visible.
That's great. And I'll put that in the show notes. If you don't get a chance to write this down, you're working out, driving, walking, it'll be in the show notes. So click on those links. Vanessa, you are brilliant. I really appreciate you. Thank you for being on. This has been such a great show.
You are the most gracious host, Steve. I've loved being here with you, and I'm so happy that I could share some nuggets with your audience and with you. Thanks for having me today. I'm honored.
You're so welcome. And audience, don't forget about my TV show every Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Together We Serve. You'll find it on Apple TV, Roku, Samsung, just any streaming TV service. Do great. I have great guests like Vanessa today that you're going to learn, educate, get inspired. As always, don't forget to comment. If you comment on the YouTube or the podcast, I will get to Vanessa. If you need to connect with her, you can reach out to me if you don't have these notes. I would suggest to connect. You can see she's a powerful businesswoman. And to me, a little side note, I think they're taking over the world. I just said that as a man, but powerful women I love working with them. And we thank you, me and Vanessa, for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you on the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart.